Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss about the another important topic of the human reproduction, that is nothing but the gametogenesis. So gametogenesis is the very important event, or it is a very important process in the sexual reproduction, right? It is a very important process or the very important event in the process of sexual reproduction. So we have discussed about the gametogenesis in the earlier classes, right? So it is nothing but what? It is nothing but the formation of the gametes, right? It is nothing but the formation of the gametes. That means, as we know that, so the reproductive organ, so the primary sex organ of the male, it is what? Testis. So the female is ovary. So what will do? The male testis will produce the sperm and the female ovary which will produce the egg or the ovum, which is nothing but what? Gametogenesis. Which is nothing but the gametogenesis. So gametogenesis can be defined in the simpler way. It is nothing but the formation of the gametes. It is the formation of the gametes in the gonad, that is nothing but the gametogenesis. So what do you mean by gonads? Gonads are nothing but the reproductive organ, right? So the male reproductive organ is testis, where it will produce the sperm. The female reproductive organ is the ovary, where it will produce as egg or the ovum. So this gametogenesis which will be followed by the two types, that is nothing but the spermatogenesis and second one is the oogenesis. That gametogenesis which is followed by the two types, one is the spermatogenesis and second one is the oogenesis. So this spermatogenesis which will be takes place in the male testis. Takes place in the male testis. So this oogenesis which will takes place in the female ovary. So the gametogenesis which is followed by the two types, that is nothing but the spermatogenesis and the oogenesis. This spermatogenesis, where it will takes place? It is takes place in the male testis, and this oogenesis will be takes place in the female ovary. So let us discuss in detail about these things. So we will discuss the first spermatogenesis. So what do you mean by spermatogenesis? It is nothing but the formation of the sperm, right? So spermatogenesis is nothing but the formation of sperms. So how it is formed? How the sperms is formed? Sperms is formed in the seminiferous tubule of the testis, right? So this spermatogenesis, it is nothing but the formation of the sperms in the seminiferous tubules of the testis. So this spermatogenesis involved the two types. That means they have involved in the two steps. So this spermatogenesis it will involve the two-step process. That is first step, which is nothing but the formation of spermatids. And second one is the spermiogenesis, which is also called spermiation. This is also spermiation. So this spermatogenesis is nothing but the formation of the sperm, right? So this process of spermatogenesis which will involved by the two steps. So the process of spermatogenesis involved by the two steps, that is formation of spermatids and the spermiogenesis or the spermiation. So this formation of spermatids which involves certain phases. It will involve the certain phases. What are those phases? That is the first is the multiplication phase. Next is the growth phase, and next third one is the maturation phase. So first is the multiplication phase, growth phase, and the maturation phase. So what do you mean by multiplication phase? So what will happen in this multiplication phase? So as we know that the sperms is formed from the seminiferous tubule, right? So this seminiferous tubule consists of two types of cells, right? So they consist of two types of cells. One is what? Sertoli cell, and second one is the male germ cell, which is also called as sperm mother cell, sperm mother cell, or gonial cells. So which is also called as gonial cells. So what is the function? What they will do? The male germ cells which will lead to form sperms. So the Sertoli cells which will provide the nourishment to the sperms. So in the process of spermatogenesis, whatever the nourishment which is needed for the sperm in the process of spermatogenesis, it is provided by the Sertoli cells. Next, what will happen? So this diploid gonial cells. So this diploid gonial cells which will undergo, so this will undergo mitosis. They will undergo repeated mitosis to form what? To form spermatozoa. So they will form a spermatozoa. How spermatozoa is formed? So the diploid gonial cells, the sperm mother cells which will undergo repeated mitotic division to form a large spermatozoa. So this spermatozoa will enter to the next phase. What is the next phase? It is the growth phase. So what will happen in the growth phase? So this spermatozoa, the diploid spermatozoa, which will increase its size, How it will increase? So due to the accumulation of the nutritional material of the cytoplasm in the cell. So because of that nutrition material, the spermatozoa, it will increase its size. So then it will form a primary spermatocytes, which is a diploid and consists of 46 chromosomes. So this primary spermatocytes which will enter to the next phase, that is nothing but the maturation phase. What will happen in this phase? So this primary spermatocytes which will undergo meiosis 1 division. So that is undergo meiosis 1 division. Meiosis is nothing but the reductional division. That means 2 and diploid cells will become the haploid. That means the 46 chromosome will be reduced to the 23. So they will form a secondary spermatocytes. So they will form a secondary spermatocytes. This primary spermatocyte, which is a diploid, which will undergo meiosis 1 to form a secondary spermatocytes. So which is a haploid. So they will reduce the number, right? So 46 chromosome, it has been reduced to 23. So what will happen? This secondary spermatocytes, which will again they will undergo meiosis 2 to form a 4 haploid cells. They will form a 1, 2, 3, 4 haploid cells. So that is nothing but the spermatids. That is nothing but the spermatid, which is a haploid which consists of 23 chromosomes. So this is nothing but the formation of spermatids. Understood? That is nothing but the formation of the spermatids. So what will happen in the spermiogenesis? So what do you mean by spermiogenesis? So this spermiogenesis is nothing but the transfer of, that means transformation of this spermatids into sperm. That means conversion of spermatids into sperms. It is nothing but the what? Spermiogenesis. So which is this spermiogenesis, which is followed by the spermiation. So what will happen? What do you mean by spermiation? It is nothing but the release of mature sperms. It is nothing but the release of mature sperms in the seminiferous tubule of the testis. That is nothing but the spermiation. Understood? So this is the process of spermatogenesis. It is very much important for the point of view. So they may ask the schematic process of spermatogenesis. You have to draw the diagram for the schematic representation, or they may ask for the explain the process of spermatogenesis. You have to explain all this process along with the diagram for the 5 marks. Understood? So what do you mean by spermatogenesis? It is nothing but the formation of the sperms in the seminiferous tubule of the testes. So it is involved in by the 2 steps. What is the 2 steps? Formation of spermatids and the spermiogenesis, which is followed by the spermiation. So this formation of spermatids, which involve the certain phases, that is nothing but the multiplication, growth phase and the maturation phase. You can see here multiplication phase, growth phase and the maturation phase. So what will happen in the multiplication phase? The gonial cells. So the gonial cells, the diploid gonial cells, which will, what they will do? They will undergo repeated division. They will form a spermatozoa. So this spermatozoa, it is a diploid which will enter to the growth phase. So what will happen? So they will increase its size. So they will increase its size due to the accumulation of the nutritive material of the cytoplasm in the cells. So then they will form a primary spermatocytes, which is a diploid and which consists of 46 chromosomes. So this primary spermatocytes which will undergo meiosis 1. So meiosis 1, it is nothing but the reductional division. So that means the diploid number will be reduced to the haploid, and the chromosomes, the 46 chromosome, it will reduce to 23 to form a secondary spermatocytes, which is a haploid. So this secondary spermatocytes which will undergo meiosis 2 to form a 4 haploid cells. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 haploid cells, that is nothing but the spermatids, which is a haploid in number and consists of 23 chromosomes. So this is about the formation of spermatids. So what will happen in the spermiogenesis? Next is the important event after the spermatid form. So what is the important event which is going to take place? It is nothing but the spermiogenesis. So what do you mean by spermiogenesis? So this spermatids have been converted. It means it is converted into sperms. That is nothing but the spermiogenesis, right? So this spermiogenesis which is followed by the spermiation. So what do you mean by spermiation? So the sperms, which is a mature sperms which is released into the seminiferous tubule of the testis, that is nothing but the spermiation. Understood? So this is a very important process which will involve in the formation of the sperms, right? So that is nothing but the spermatogenesis. So next we will discuss about the hormones of spermatogenesis. Hormones of spermatogenesis. So hormones play an important role in the process of spermatogenesis. It is very much important. So what are all the hormones which are involved in the process of spermatogenesis? So that is nothing but the GnRH. So what is this GnRH? So how do we expand this GnRH? So it is nothing but the GnRH is nothing but the gonadotropin releasing hormone. So they may ask for the 1 marks. So what do you mean by GnRH? Or they may ask expand GnRH. What is the expandation of GnRH? Gonadotropin releasing hormone. So this what will they do? What is this actually GnRH? So this is the hypothalamic hormone. It is a hypothalamic hormone. So that is nothing but the hormone which is produced by the hypothalamus. We know that hypothalamus is the endocrine gland, right? So It is a endocrine gland. So the hormones which is produced by the hypothalamus, it is nothing but the GnRH. So what we will do, the significant increase of this level of GnRH will be increased. That means the increased level of this GnRH will act on the pituitary. That means anterior pituitary, which acts on the anterior pituitary. So, what is this pituitary gland? What is the pituitary gland called? It is called as master gland, right? So, this pituitary gland called as master gland, which consists of two parts, anterior pituitary gland and the posterior pituitary gland. So, this anterior pituitary gland, which is we can otherwise call as what? So, adenohypophysis and neurohypophysis. This adenohypophysis which will produce the hormone by its own. So whereas the neurohypophysis, they won't produce the hormone by its own. So they won't produce the hormones by its own. But what they will do? Instead, they will receive the hormone from the hypothalamus. So they will receive the hormone from the hypothalamus. Hence that hormones are called as hence the hormones of the anterior pituitary gland, which is called as neurohormones. And these neurohormones which will have a particularly two hormones, that is nothing but the testosterone and the vasopressin. So they have a testosterone and the oxytocin and the vasopressin. So this oxytocin we have discussed earlier, right? So that is the birth hormone. It is the oxytocin is the birth hormone, whereas the vasopressin, which it is a very much important to regulate the water level in the body. So it will regulate the water in the body. So what will happen? Due to this, the GnRH increases acts on the anterior pituitary. So which will stimulate and secretes the what? LH and the FSH. They will secretes and they will stimulate and secretes the LH and the FSH. So what is this LH and what is this FH? So LH is nothing but luteinizing hormone. FSH is nothing but follicle stimulating hormone. Follicle stimulating hormone. So LH is nothing but luteinizing hormone, FSH is nothing but the follicle stimulating hormone. So these LH will act on the Leydig cells. So this acts on the Leydig cells. What do you mean by Leydig cells? It is nothing but the interstitial cells. So where it is present? In the outer region of the seminiferous tubule, right? So the interstitial cells which is present in the outer region of the seminiferous tubule, that is nothing but the interstitial cells. So these Leydig cells which will secrete and they will synthesize. So they will synthesize the what? Testosterone, which is nothing but the androgen. Testosterone hormone, or nothing but the androgen. So this testosterone will stimulate the what? Spermatogenesis. So they will help to stimulate in the process of spermatogenesis. So what does this FSH do? So this FSH will act on the Sertoli cells, which will act on the Sertoli cells. What is this Sertoli cells do? They will provide a nourishment for the sperm during the process of spermatogenesis. So these Sertoli cells, where in turn they will produce certain factors. So these certain factors will help in the process of spermiogenesis, which will help in the process of spermiogenesis. So what is this spermiogenesis? So the spermiogenesis is nothing but the transformation of spermatid into sperms. That is nothing but the spermiogenesis. So this is the hormones of the spermatogenesis. It is very much important. They may ask for the 3 marks or the 2 marks. So what are the hormones of the spermatogenesis. Or also they may ask what are the hormone control in the process of hormonal control of the spermatogenesis. They may ask like this. So what is this hormones of spermatogenesis? That is nothing but the GnRH. That means increased level of GnRH, which will act on the anterior pituitary. Due to this it will stimulate the two hormones, that is LH and the FSH. So what is this LH? Luteinizing hormone. FSH is the follicle stimulating hormone. So this LH will act on the Leydig cells. It acts on the Leydig cells, which will form a what? This Leydig cells form what? What? Male hormone. That is nothing but the testosterone. And this testosterone will stimulate to form spermatogenesis. Whereas the FSH will be acts on the Sertoli cells, and they will produce, in turn they will secrete some certain factor. That certain factor which helps in the spermiogenesis. What do you mean by spermiogenesis? It is nothing but the transformation of spermatid into sperm. Understood? That is nothing but the hormones of the spermatogenesis. So next we will discuss about the structure of the sperm. So through the process of spermatogenesis, sperm is produced, right? So what is the sperm then? So sperms is nothing but the haploid gamete. It is a haploid gamete, and which is produced in the spaminiferous tubules of the testis. That is nothing but the what? It is nothing but the sperm. So now let us discuss the ultrastructure, the structure of the sperm. So we will discuss the detailed structure of the sperm. It is a very important topic in this lesson. It may ask for the 5 marks to explain the structure of the sperms or draw a neat label diagram of the sperms. They may ask for the 5 marks. You have to label the diagram and also you have to explain. If they ask for the explanation, you can write the explanation. Now this sperm, which is of about 50 micron to 60 micron in length. So this is of 50 micron to 60 micron in length. So whole this sperm, which will be enclosed or it will be enveloped by plasma membrane. So which is enveloped by the plasma membrane, and the sperms is divided into head, neck, middle piece and the tail. So these are the important parts of the sperm. What are the important parts? That is head, neck, middle piece and the tail. So we will discuss one by one. First we will discuss about the head. So it is the head is the anterior part. It is a pear shaped. It is elongated, flattened part, and it look like a pear shaped. It is of about 4 to 5 micron in length and 2.5 to 3.5 micron in width. So the head of the sperms, which will measures about 4 to 5 micron in length, 2.5 to 3.5 micron in width. So this head consists of nucleus and the acrosome. So which consists of elongated haploid nucleus and the anterior portion, which is nothing but the acrosomes. So which consists of the acrosomes. So the head, which is of about what? 4 to 5 micron in length and 2.5 to 3.5 micron in width. So this head consists of what? Acrosome and the nucleus. Nucleus, it is a haploid, and the acrosome, which is present at the anterior part of the head. Understood? So what will happen? So what is this? This acrosome play an important role. It is the important part of the sperm as it produce certain enzymes. This acrosome which will produce certain enzymes which will help in the process of fertilization. So for the process of fertilization, what this acrosome do? They will produce the lytic enzymes. They will produce this lytic enzyme, this enzyme which will help in the sperms to penetrate, which will, what they will do, the enzyme which was produced by this acrosome, which will helps to penetrate egg during the fertilization process. So this is about the acrosomes. Acrosome, it is a important part. So they will produce the lytic enzymes and it will help in the process of what? Fertilization. Now next is the neck. So next is the neck. It is the short narrow part which is present between, you can see it is a short narrow part which is present between head and the middle piece. It is present between the head and the middle piece. Understood? And this neck which consists of two centriole, that is proximal centriole and the distal centriole, which consists of two centriole, that is nothing but the proximal and the distal. So this proximal central which will lies between the nucleus, and this distal centriole is a long fiber which is called as axonema. So you can see, so it is a axial filament, the distal centriole which is a axial filament which is nothing but the axonema. It is a long fiber which is called as axonema or the axial filament. So which will runs, axonema which will runs throughout the what? Sperm. This neck is the short narrow part which is present between head and the middle place. So which consists of two centriole. What is the two centriole? Proximal and the distal. So this proximal just lie between the nucleus, and this distal centrioles just have a long fiber, that is nothing but the axial filament and the axonema. This axonema which will run throughout the sperm. So that is about the neck. Next is the middle piece. So what is this middle piece? Middle piece consists of numerous mitochondria. So what is this mitochondria? Mitochondria we call as powerhouse of the cells. So this mitochondria which will provide the energy, for the movement of the sperm. So it will helps in the movement of the sperms. So that is which will act as a energy source. It is the middle piece which is also called as what? It is this middle piece which is called as the this region which is called as a energy source or the energy bank which is used to call. So or the engine box. So this middle piece which is called as energy box or the engine box. So that is nothing but the middle piece. So middle piece consists of it is a large number of mitochondria. So this mitochondria which will provide the energy for the sperm motility, for the movement of the sperms. And this middle piece which is also called as energy box or the engine box of the sperm. So that is nothing but the middle piece. So here you can see here this mitochondrial have a sheath. So this mitochondrial sheath covering of the axial filament. You can see this axial filament is covered by this mitochondrial sheath. This mitochondrial sheath which is covered by this axial filament or the axonema. So of the middle piece, you can see this of this middle piece, that is called as nibenken. So that is known as nibenken. So that is known as nibenken. So it is very much important. They may ask for the 1 marks or they may ask in the NEET. So this is about the structure of the sperm. So the structure of the sperm which consists of what? Head, neck, middle piece and the tail. So the head consists of what? So throughout this sperm which is composed or it is enveloped by the plasma membrane which measures about 50 to 60 micron in length, and the head consists of head, neck, middle piece and the tail. So this head is of about what? 4 to 5 micron in length and 2.5 to 3.5 micron in width, which is a long narrow and flattened part, so which consists of acrosome. It is the anterior part of the head is called as acrosome, and they consist of a diploid, this haploid nucleus. So you can see that covering cap like structure called as what? Acrosomes. So these acrosomes will help in the process of fertilization. How it will help? They will produce the lytic enzymes for the process of fertilization. So that is about the acrosomes. And this neck, it is a short part and it is present between where? Head and the middle piece. So which consists of the two centriole, that is nothing but proximal and the distal. So this proximal, which is lie between the nucleus, and the distal centriole, which will a long fiber, that is called as axial filament, and the axonema, which will run throughout the sperm. Understood? So next is the middle piece. So middle piece, which consists of numerous mitochondria, that means large number of mitochondria, and they have a what? And they will provide a what? They will act as a energy for the sperm motility. They will provide the energy for the sperm motility. So what will happen then? So this middle piece, which is also called as, so the middle piece of the sperm, which is called as engine box. Because why it is called as engine box? Because they consist of mitochondria, which consist of the mitochondria. Why the middle piece is called as engine box? Because it consists of the mitochondria. As we know that mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. So where it will provide the energy for the sperm motility. You can see here there will be a presence of mitochondrial sheath. So this mitochondrial sheath, which will covering by the axial filament in the middle piece, so that is known as Nebenken. So that is known as Nebenken. So that is about the structure of the sperm. Next is the tail. So this tail is the last part of the sperm, and it is the longest region of the sperm body. So it is differentiated into two pieces, that is called as main piece and the end piece. So this tail, which consists of two pieces, that is main piece and the end piece. So the main piece, which consists of what? Central axial filament. You can see here there will be a presence of central axial filament, whereas the end piece, which consists of axial filament, which will surround by the plasma membrane. So this, as I told, this plasma membrane will be enveloped by the sperm, which is a whole sperm, which is enveloped by the plasma membrane. So that is about the end piece. So that is nothing but the structure of the sperm.